if not for Khamzat fight being cancelled, probably things would play differently. You would have to fight 5 rounds. You could possibly lose. Are you happy how things played out and now you had a pretty quick victory?
Mate, if I had wheels, I'd be a bike. All right, like it is what it is. Yeah, mate. What if I ordered scrambled eggs instead of waffles this morning? I don't know. I don't know.
The teller.
Man, those Dagestani reporters were antagonizing my boy Bobby Knuckles. Luckily, Whittaker handled it perfectly. To do that to him after the performance that he had on the event, I mean, get off my boy there, man. That was uncalled for. Besides that, Shara, the Bullet Magomedov, had a stellar performance, but looks like we're never going to see him fight in the U.S. So I don't know how big of a star he could become. And then Dana White shed some light on what's next for Conor McGregor. It was also another profitable event. How about that? We cashed in on Robert Whittaker to cap the card off. All that coming at you guys now. We'll head over to Dana in a second. But just so you guys know, this is the way we will be doing the recap of the bets we targeted. We'll intertwine them in these kind of videos. It was another profitable event. We profit 2.5 units on the event. 3-unit play on Robert Whittaker. We had a 2-team parlay of Gachi Asulov and Kelvin Gastelum. And then we lost a 2-unit play on Xiao Long, which was a fight I really thought we deserved to win. I'm not just saying that because I targeted. I truly felt that Xiao should have won that fight. And that was a frustrating one. I think that the headbutt that was landed on him kind of made it look like he was taking damage, and the judges were a little off there. The one legit loss we did take was a 2-unit play on Naimov. Okay, all in all, we hit 2.5 units of profit. That 5-unit parlay, the 5-unit 2-team parlay helped out a lot. And of course, the Robert Whittaker 3-unit play was a huge one for us. So a great event for us. Not massive profits, but a solid one. Don't forget, guys, if you want to work with me for my official plays, shoot me a message and I'll give you further details. And remember, we are powered by BETUS. Make an account through the link in the description of this video. You will get a 125% match on your first 3 deposits. And I got a special gift for you if you do that. So let me know. All right, let's get over to Dana over here.
People also wondering a lot about Shara if he can compete in the United States.
Can he?
Yes.
Probably not. We'll keep him out here.
So I thought this was huge news in the sense that Shara Magomedov, this dude has some serious potential in the division, and I feel he has some serious star power. He has the look. You see he's working on that takedown defense. Obviously needs to be tested against higher level talent down the line. But I mean, this dude's striking is some of the best in the game. All right, we were recently talking about a matchup, in fact, a fight that's coming up this upcoming weekend between Ian Gary and MVP. And I mentioned how those are top 10 strikers in the sport of MMA right now. Time may tell that Shara the Bullet Magomedov is a top 10 striker in mixed martial arts. I mean, that dude moves differently, but I feel that this is horrible news for hardcore fight fans, because the fact that he can't fight in the U.S. Due to visa issues and whatnot, and it seems like it's not something they're really thinking is going to be cleaned up. I feel like that they feel pretty confident that that's going to be the case, as you hear Dana saying, we'll keep him out here. I mean, that's tough because the UFC is only going to be going to Saudi Arabia like once a year. I mean, this guy can't really fight just once a year. I mean, maybe they do 2 events a year out there still. I mean, that's 2 fights a year. And what happens if he was to make a run at the title, become champion, or, really make some noise in this division? I mean, you would think that we would need him to fight in Vegas once in a while and in the States. So I think that's tough news there for a fighter that has some serious potential. Time will tell how that story plays out, but I wasn't too happy to hear that myself.
What about Shara? Did you see his fight tonight, and what you think of him as a possible opponent?
I did. The guy he fought was tired, man. He was very tired. That's not taking anything away from Shara. I think like the way he utilized his kicks, the way he stayed focused, and the way he danced on the outside, avoided the dangers of half the first round.
I love the response there from Whittaker, because you feel his confidence seeping through the microphone, right? I mean, and then that was the beginning of some of those Dagestani reporters kind of poking at him a little bit, which I have no problem with. I like their questions, but they jab a little bit and they push their guys. And I loved Whittaker's response. It was a very honest response. And in fact, if you kind of dive into it, you kind of sense that he feels he would take care of a guy like Magomedov as he should. He should feel that way, and I think that he would. And I think it would be a completely different type of fight. You would see a completely different type of grappling attack coming at Shara. So Shara looked good with the takedown defense, but I mean, take a look at his opponent, man. He was attacking up high with the takedowns. I mean, Whittaker is a proven wrestler. He would be in on those hips and in on those legs. We would have really seen Magomedov tested there, and then on the feet, it would have been a whole different ballgame. As Whittaker mentioned, he's a completely different condition type of athlete, and we need to see Magomedov tested more so. But as we were just talking about, how is Magomedov going to work his way up to a Whittaker fight around this time if you know he can't really travel? So that's a whole nother topic there.
Obviously, when you fought DDP, it didn't go your way. But do you think these last couple of performances have shown that actually that was an off night for you, and if you are at your best, you can beat anybody?
Definitely, I'd like to think that. You know, I look at the paperwork. Since that fight, I've only improved. I've only gotten better, and yeah, I'm not saying that if I was on, I would have beaten him. I'm not going to take that away from him. He turned up on the night and beat me fair and square, and now he's the world champion because of it. Okay, he's a good fighter, and he's good at what he does. But I know I can do better. Will I beat him? Like, maybe he gets his hand raised again. But I know I can do better, and I know I didn't put my best foot forward in that fight, and I want to run it back because of that.
Now, to shed some light on what I think is next for Whittaker after this huge victory with the name recognition that he has, being a former champion, and also now what? He's on a 2-fight winning streak, bouncing back after that loss to Dricus du Plessis, who's the current champion. I think you mix all that up, and I think you have a recipe of Sean Strickland and Robert Whittaker facing off for a #1 contenders match. The winner of that fight will take on the winner of Dricus du Plessis and Israel Adesanya, which, of course, that takes place at UFC 305 on August 17th. Nasruddin Amavov has been making some noise in this division. So is Brendan Allen. I think you could match those two men up with each other. But Whittaker versus Strickland makes all the sense in the world right now. The winner of that is next to fight for the title, and that fight will be absolutely huge. I'm talking about Whittaker versus Strickland. That fight will be huge.
Michael Vick here at BetUS.com. Get it all. Huge bonuses, great odds, a race book, live in-game betting, and a casino. BetUS, my online sports book and casino.
Obviously, McGregor has a fight with Chandler, but Islam and his team talking a little bit about him possibly fighting Conor. Have you ever thought about this fight? Islam?
I'm not thinking about Conor fighting anybody right now. Yeah.
Dana.
Yep.
And so they asked a couple questions about McGregor in this press conference, and Dana White had the same response every time. He didn't even want to talk about McGregor. He's not even thinking about what's next for McGregor until he's fully healed up. Okay, so that of course, the McGregor and Chandler fight is still on the radar, but it's sitting on ice. And at this point in time, all we could do is really just sit and wait around and wait to hear some news on the fight. I mean, this isn't even really that much news. Sorry for leading you guys on there, but just to kind of shed some light on what's going on. Dana White just saying he don't even want to talk about it. All right, so once again, it's on the back burner. But I do think that McGregor-Chandler will take place before the end of this year. I think it will take place in the fall. That's my thoughts on that. So you guys comment below. I want to know how UFC Saudi Arabia treated you guys. Was it another profitable event for you? What were your thoughts on some of the things that we discussed here? Would love some feedback in the comment section. All right, guys, I'll see you very soon. Signing out. Teller.
This video is brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino.